right, and we are live. Thank you for tuning in to this monthly podcast. It's turned into a monthly podcast. So, GM NFT Podcast still goes strong. We have Easton Gladney on today, and he is going to explain a little bit about what he's doing on Elrond, and I think on Sol too a little bit. So that's diversification. I guess that's where we should all be at, huh?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I love just chatting with people, and especially podcasts. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. So I just love to chat. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And so what are you doing on Sol?
So I'm not really building on, I guess, one blockchain really. I'm kind of here just to spread value across any chain. I mean, so I started on Ethereum for about 4 to 5 months last year, and then I was dabbling between Ethereum and Solana, and then I kind of got rid of Ethereum and Solana and then moved to Elrond, and now I'm just kind of like, you know what? Wherever like I can bring value to people, like I'll be on your blockchain if that's HBAR, if that's AVAX. I'm like just fuck like the being in one chain. Like I'll be like wherever the money's at, I'll be there.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like that's where I'm kind of like looking too. I dabble in a couple NFTs on ETH, not much, but it's good to have just something else. It's not good to just go all in, to one thing. And I think that there is value on all blockchains, and they all have their little niche. But I think Elrond is just one of those things. It just doesn't have the liquidity. It has the technology. It has what everyone's looking for. But at the end of the day, where's the money at?
Yeah,
So,
and I think that's the difficult part is like the technology's so good, but if there's not a inflow of money coming in, it's almost like the same 3,000, 4,000 people are trading between each other, and we need another high res. We need another big person to bring attention to like just bring more money into the space. Really, that's kind of like what we need.
right. Yeah, definitely. I believe that they will trickle in as the time goes on. And I think that there's going to be a lot of cross-chain um, things that are built to kind of like make it easier for someone to go from one chain to the next and not really feel the difference almost. So I think that will be there in maybe 5 to 10 years. Who knows? It kind of has been moving really slow, but I think in the background, it's been moving quite fast for especially Elrond. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think in 5 to 10 years or 15 that we'll get to a place where the blockchains are kind of like just like the under uh or like the foundation, just kind of like how there's three different web browsers, but they all kind of interact and move the same. Like we'll have 10 chains and the users won't even know like what chain they're on, just how we don't even know like what our software, like our phones run on. We just kind of use the phone for our liking.
Right. And for NFTs, man, a lot of things have fell through, and a lot of things have kind of just went flat, and especially on Elrond. Wow. I mean, oof. I think there's a lot of things still there, kind of getting accumulated. So I am still seeing. I mean, it's not fast. It's not like Ethereum liquidity. I mean, you go look at like Gutter Gang. I mean, you go look at that bot. It's getting things are getting bought like every hour. You know, like multiple things every hour.
Yeah.
So it's like whoa, like that's a whole different. And there's like what? There's like 27,000 clones. So that's like people are buying them. It's like whoa, like that's kind of like a different game. It's like holy crap, like the liquidity is just it is in some places.
Yeah, it's I think that's just kind of the hard part. And when I was on Ethereum, I mean, like there's so many damn projects, so many projects popping up, probably hundreds, maybe close to thousands when the bull market was here, like every single day. and you have project floors that are easily sitting at 3,000-4,000, like easy, and they're still being bought up, just like you said, every single day. And I think it's hard because like I have podcaster friends that are on Ethereum and that make podcast like videos like every day, and there's just so much going on, and there's so much, I guess, like comfortability when it comes to being on Ethereum that people are like, why would I leave when I'm making $3,000, $4,000 like each NFT?
It's the same off of like Cardano. I mean, people don't want to leave Cardano. The liquidity is truly there for their NFTs. I mean, so it's just hard for them to like look at us and be like, well, that's cool, and then be like, oh, So I think I think a lot of people are missing what an NFT really should be, because like this isn't real world yet. I mean, I do see some real world uses, but your house will be an NFT that when you sell your house, that will be the transaction you make to sell your house at some point. I believe that for sure, but it'll be when that happens. I don't know. Sorry about that.
You're good.
But and so on and so forth. You go buy a bike, or you go buy like a motorcycle, or a car. That will be like an NFT. It will be like you sign the transaction. That will be it. It'll be recorded on the blockchain, and that's how people will keep their inventory. And these are the underlying things I think people are missing with NFTs. It's not, so I think there can be greater utility that we're just in such an infantile, such an infantile stage for NFTs. What do you think about that?
Oh, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, I think just like when the internet was invented, I bet they were using the internet for the most stupidest things ever. And I think when we move out of this weird collectible phase that we're in, I think just like you said, I think there'll be kind of like a fork. Like we'll have like the in real life utilities, like anything that can be like NFT'd will be, like all the contracts, all the auditing systems, all that, and then we'll have more of like the gaming space and maybe the metaverse if that comes out, like a Ready Player One. So like I think they will still have like a virtual aspect like gaming and like things like that, but I do think we're missing the in real life part of it. But I think the blockchain is just way too early. Like the technology is way too young to be doing that, and trying to force this onto like the county offices and stuff, it's just way too early to be trying to do that. But I do think there'll be a transition where they're like, you know what, fuck all this paper, let's move to the blockchain.
Well, I think just for the transparency, and maybe having ones that aren't as transparent, kind of like, I don't know. I think that there's going to be like Tornado Cash. I mean, that was kind of like a wow moment for me in crypto right now. That was like one of those things that was like, where are people going to get there, and how are they going to be anonymous? Monero, they just did their upgrade, so I feel like that Elrond's very open, so that's just one of those things that might and can be used by governments though. So.
I think they will definitely. I mean, I can even see the government creating their own cryptocurrency and really controlling their citizens through their programmable money and things like that. So I think there is a dangerous end game of all of this. I think it's fun to make money. I think it's fun to trade pictures. I think it's fun to do all this stuff, but I think there can be, and there's a high possibility of a dangerous end game that the blockchain can be used against us that we're building.
Well, and so like something I do harp a lot about is the supply of e-gold and how NFTs are running off of e-gold pretty much. And so in the future, these NFTs won't be able to keep up, in my opinion. I mean, that it would be kind of like breaking antelope's leg and trying to run away from a cheetah. That's the way I look at it. Like, the supply is just way too low for, like, if there was a Bitcoin moment for Elrond, what would happen to our NFTs? Like, that's one thing that I think about a lot and often.
I think we would just trade them at a super small number, like 0.001 or 0.002. Super, super small.
I think there would need to be a transfer to a different token, maybe MEX, but I think MEX is still, I think it needs to be more even, kind of like a token, like maybe it has the same tokenomics like ADA, I think, what, 21 billion or something, or is that one more? I forget.
I'm not sure.
But something like that maybe would be a better, maybe like I know Digibyte is 21 billion cap. But like something like that would be a lot better to trade with, and maybe if it just had the value for it, just because Eagle, just like there might be like that moment, like, oh no, like, like, how are we gonna even this out? I guess. What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be interesting when we see these cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Elrond where they can't be mined anymore or they can't be created. What's going to happen to the price? And I'm very curious, especially with Bitcoin, because what happens when they can't be created anymore? Like, what? I'm very curious to see what the price is going to be and what's going to happen. Like, what is that going to look like from an ecosystem standpoint? Like, how is that even going to work? Because prices will skyrocket. And I think it's something that, like, as humans, that we really haven't seen before, because we can always create stuff like out of thin air. Like, if we need more cars, well, we can just make more cars for the demand. But what happens when we can't just create something out of thin air to meet that demand? What the hell is going to happen?
Well, that's like that's like I don't want to get into too much politics, but like what you're saying is like Taiwan, for instance, having those microchips and having that industrial capability to make them and produce that, and then maybe us losing that, maybe it's like the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, having that capability, and not having to, because eGold can only sustain itself with NFTs for so long, and that's what I'm looking at. I mean, it's kind of like that time, like NFT projects. It's time for them to gain, but then maybe hold and then use that to the advantage of the NFT project to move it forward in the future. As people accumulate right now, and people may have to understand that, especially with Elrond NFTs. But sorry, I'm just kind of like thinking about this because I've really pondered this, and how can we have like a satisfactory NFT ecosystem with such a volatile asset like Eagle, and
Yeah.
and
I mean, like, I think we'll see. I think we could really see, I guess, kind of like those big projects win that actually bring value. And just like we like talked about before, like, what are the things that are actually going to bring value that are not a collectible and that don't really do much for people. I think projects will, and I think we are starting to see a little bit move out of this weird collectible phase that we're in into more things that are providing humans value, not just a weird picture of a JPEG of a monkey.
well, and that too, just having that JPEG of a monkey. Why can't that, give value in a creative way too? They both can,
Yeah.
and I think they both can exist in the same, place. But I just looking at Elrond. I mean, that's like saying, okay, let's make Bitcoin NFTs. Now would be fine because Bitcoin's mature and sure, okay, but as early as we are in Elrond, I mean, the market cap's so tiny. It's like a drop in the bucket in the whole world. not even, probably like a drop of a drop,
Yeah, I mean
So,
it'll be very I think like interesting to see what happens over the next 3 years as we kind of mature just in a Web3 aspect, because it like very few people even know about crypto, let alone like NFTs and the actual use case of the blockchain and just Web3 in general. So I think it's gonna be very interesting as a whole ecosystem from a Web3 standpoint to what happens when more people come into the space, and like how does like regular people use this technology versus kind of people that are here to make money.
right. Well, and I think there will be a big separation in the people that are, using it, and there will be that accumulation for those projects and it will have success. And then there will be the collectibles where there's only going to be a few people looking for that, So, I mean, look at all the service. I mean, okay, Easton, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, just on a level like this, because I mean, look at all the services that are like on ETH, and then look at how much bank they're making off those services, and look at what if you made an NFT project that benefited off of those services. See, it's just a grab. These people they're making a lot of money, but to give back to the community after making a huge project that's successful, and not just an NFT project, I think that's where we need to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. I think the money grab, and I mean, I was learning about some rug pulls on a token standpoint yesterday, and just the amount of money they're making. I'm like millions and millions of dollars. I'm like, this is insane. And just the cash grabs, the cash grabs and the money making, and like, I think, are you really here for the community, or are you really here just to fill your own pockets and bounce? And I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you can do both. Like, why can't you make a fuck ton of money and give back to the community and not just rip off people and fuck them over?
Well, and that's where it comes to. There's not the developers yet on Elrond, for example. So like for instance, myself, I've been looking for a developer, and it can't just be a smart contract developer. Okay, that's very easy to find. Just I mean, you can make that smart contract that will make a lot of money, and that is one route to go. But having a core developer, that's I think you're on a team right now. Are you? Can you tell us a little bit about your role in Meyercard?
Yes. So I am the community manager. So I basically um, help on the community side of things. I mean, like anything really, if that's AMAs, if that's chatting with the community, like answering questions, if that's talking to the founder and like giving them ideas. Like we were chatting a couple weeks ago about him getting on TikTok. So like, I was kind of giving him some ideas about like content creation and just things to kind of bring more trust, more transparency, and kind of more kind of insight on who he is as a founder.
Right. I like him. I had him on here. Let's see. I think it was about a month and a half, 2 months ago. But yeah, I've been wanting to talk to that whole team for a minute too. I really have been looking around and talking to people and trying to get a sense of what I can create, because I wanna put my print on Elrond in a very positive way. And I think that, there's just so many opportunities. It's kind of insane. I mean, I can just go all day and think of different things that you could just sit there and create, that would be good for the community, as well as good for, yourself. But if you don't have a developer, I mean, the money is sitting there. Sorry, my cat is sitting with me. He's a ham. The only time he'll come and really sit with me is when I'm doing interviews and talking on the phone. It's so weird. Like, he just hears other people and he's like, "Oh, okay, let me be involved in this." So, but yeah, I just see the opportunities are there, Easton. But can tell me what what's going on with Meyercar? Are they what have they released lately that you can tell us about?
So from the stuff I can say, I think they're working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So I don't really know what I can say and what I can't say. I guess I can say this: we're making progress diligently with speed. And the demos that we have released and the things that I've seen that I can talk about. I mean, from an investor standpoint, I think they look awesome. I mean, I think the graphics, the like integration of other collections, the things that they're bringing to the table on just a gaming standpoint, I think they look amazing from an investor standpoint.
I play all the time. You know,
Yeah,
I play Mario Kart all the time. You
that's
know, so
yeah.
like I love that kind of stuff, and I have ADHD, so I have to have that kind of like always like stimulative kind of stuff. So I feel like Meyer Kart, you know, is going to be a pretty good um, addition to Elrond, and we couldn't ask for a better team with them for sure.
Oh, I mean, 100%. Like they really just want to bring a good product to market. I mean, they want to bring a good product. They want to bring something that people like. They want to really make the community happy and not rush something for just the sake of putting it out, but they really just want to collab with the good people, collab with the right founders, and really bring a game that people really enjoy with good graphics. I'm very excited to be a part of their team and kind of just learn from them from a developing standpoint and really just be like a part of that journey. So I'm excited to kind of like watch them and see what their final product looks like.
Yeah, yeah, they've always kind of just like, you know, been on the ball, and I was sad, and I gave away a couple of the carts, um, but to my holders because they deserve them, and I knew right away that they were getting a good thing, you know, and it wasn't just a thing that was like, oh, let me just put this out there, and you know, like, let's see how much hype we can get. No, you know, and that's and you know, I think that's where, you know, there's going to be a separation in the builders and the people that are sitting around, you know, just blowing smoke. Um, I think, you know, you guys are doing a really good thing for
Thank
sure.
you. Yeah, and I completely agree with your statement. I think we're starting to see it now. The people that are here to actually build, and the people that have been making promises for a couple months to close to 6 months to a year, and I think we're really starting to see some people and the people that I'm talking to behind the scenes of like people that are bringing real utility, real stuff, and really following through on their promises and the things they're bringing to the space. I think we're starting to see, and we are going to see from the people I'm talking to that are building a separation between people that are here to bring a good product to market and a people here are to just build a community for an for an ego perspective, for like a money grab, for like whatever you want to call it. We are we are going to start seeing that separation. I think as more people come over that are diligent, especially from Solana and Ethereum, because they don't put up with the bullshit. They go into your Discord and they're like, "Do you have this, this, and this?" And if you don't, they're out. So they're going to be looking for good projects that are here to stay if they come over.
Right, right. I think, you know, and I think that, like I said before, you know, you could do anything with an NFT project on Elrond right now. I mean, like, there's so many opportunities and things that can be built, and the devs are not there yet. So there are some though. I know that, but they're so busy. can't even get can't even get any time with them most of the time if they're. But. So yeah, we've been on for a little bit, and I just wanted to say, is there anything that you want to tell the community? Anything that you think is missing, or like any input that you want to give? I think that we all need to just love, you know, the community and not hate. there's too much of it. But is there anything that you can tell us?
Yeah, I mean, I have two things. I think one on exactly what you just said. We need more positivity, but I think that positivity gets mixed with people just really wanting to bring something good, and we see a lot of people calling out people's bullshit, and we think that's people being mean, that we think that's people being negative. But I think we need to demand that from our community. We need to demand that there's transparency, that people aren't being fucked over, that we need to have a higher standard, I think, for our community with when it comes to integrity, when it comes to values, and when it comes to things we're bringing. I think as a community, we need to hold these projects to a higher standard. And I think that kind of segues me into the next point of like we need to have better communication with our projects, with what we're bringing. We need to have better marketing. We need. I think project founders, the number one I think thing they're lacking on is marketing and really communicating what they're bringing to market, what is their values, and what do they stand for. Because people buy into founders, not projects. And I think that's a thing really lacking is we have all these anonymous people, or even if they're not anonymous, really not out here for the community. They're not really projecting what they're bringing. They just sit here and they expect people to buy in when you need to make people care about what you're bringing to like Elrond and the NFT market.
Right. Yeah, I think, and that's so funny that you say that because I've just had the hardest time because I can't, like, with one of the things that I want to bring to the market, I just can't say what I'm doing because it would just ruin it. It
Yeah.
literally, it's like that one time go kind of thing. No one else, it's like no one else is doing it. If they did it, it's like, well, you can make a secondary market then, or something. But it's like so weird. It's like the people that are promising. I feel like a thing should start, without a promise. In my opinion, unless it has a reason for a promise. And that's kind of like I just started art, a year ago myself, and going through this whole thing, journey of what I've done, it's just like it's not fun, but it is at the same time because it's helped my life because of the art. But trying to manage a community it's not the easiest, and it's not an easy task. And trying to deliver value is easy, but it's not always seen either. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
for sure. For sure.
it's hard to keep like saying look at me, and yeah, I see you probably know what I mean by that, but it's like we're not synonymous, or we're not anonymous, we don't have pseudonyms, or like we're not using like different names or anything like that. So people kind of, I feel like those are the ones that get overlooked most of the time. The real people, but we're smaller. But we have value to give to Elrond, and is there anything else you wanted to say at all?
Not really. I think the one thing is I have some stuff cooking in the background with a couple people that I can't really mention. Should be come We should be announcing something in, I don't know, 2 weeks to a month. But we have a lot of stuff that we are bringing to Elrond, kind of like you said. That there's a lot to give and a lot to grow, and we want to bring something awesome, and we are definitely bringing that in the form of something that I can't say. So
Is it
I'm
a team
excited.
that you just put together, or like,
Uh,
or
Kind of like that. I don't know. Yeah.
well, you know what? You don't have to like throw yourself under any buses or anything like that. You can just keep that under your hat. But I would like to have a minute more of your time after this stream, if you'd like to stand by,
Yeah.
and we'll end this. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, travel at Derek, and follow Easton. I don't know what your handle is. I
At
didn't.
Easton Gladney, just my name with no space.
All right. Mine, travel underscore with underscore Derek is mine. So if anyone wants to follow me and runs into this, that would be pretty cool. We do have a small group that I have created if you're interested. If you're a DGen and you can handle some DGen. I mean, we're not too hard on this, on this community chat, So if anyone wants to join, just let me know. Thank you for joining me today, Easton.
Thanks, man.
It's really good to have you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.